Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and welcome to the witnesses. Commissioner Moeller, Commissioner LaFleur, thank you so much for your time and your expertise. With the administration's war on coal, surge capacity is shrinking in many states across the country. My home state of Texas needs 5 large power plants by 2014-2015 to keep growing like we've been growing, or we risk rolling blackouts, as you alluded to in 2011. One way we can prevent these brownouts and blackouts from happening is to order power plants to keep generating beyond the 24/7 limits that they have, keep that power up online. And that's for emergency conditions only. That may lead, again, these may lead to power generation collapses. Unfortunately, we've had 2 examples recently where power plants have been kept up online and then third parties have come back in behind them and sued them for damages. And some of these have been 7 figures in damages. I introduced a bill last Congress that passed unanimously from this committee, unanimously on the floor. Unfortunately, it died in the Senate, which many bills did last Congress. But I just want to talk to you guys about that. Do you support that bill? Is that something viable to address this power capacity, power shortage capacity we may have in Texas?
Yeah, and last year I testified in support of that bill in front of this committee.
Just to make sure nothing didn't change your mind. Commissioner LaFleur?
Yes, I support that targeted bill to give relief if you're ordered to stay on.
Great. Again, Commissioner Miller, you talked about the 2011 power crisis we had in Texas, basically the wind power crisis. And 12% of our demand dropped offline almost automatically. About 50 power plants were impacted by that. Most importantly for Texans, the Super Bowl was in Dallas that weekend, almost got canceled because of no power at the Cowboys Stadium. Could you please elaborate on what you learned from that incident and what advice you can give me for my state to take away from this? Got that great report there.
I will again commend the report that FERC and NERC did together on it. It's a great read. It's a good primer. It has 32 recommendations, mainly to the legislatures and the public utility commissions of those states. And I think they're in various phases of implementing those recommendations. To me, what hit home was that people felt like they either legally couldn't talk to each other or they felt there was a perception that they couldn't talk to each other legally, in addition to a number of problems with inadequate weatherization of a lot of those power plants. So I think they're on the weatherization. The communication set of issues, though, I think is an issue in every region of this country. And that's where I think we'll really be pushing over the summer to make sure, we don't know whether we have to take formal action at FERC or informal action, but to make sure that when we have another one of these cold weather events, it's a matter of when, not if, and the systems are stressed, and they can be stressed anywhere, but New England and the Midwest are our top concerns, that the right operators of the grid, the electric system, the pipelines, the generators are all in a position where they can share information without a fear of breaking the law so that people's service isn't disrupted. In the case of the Northwest in 2009, there was a power plant that could have relieved a lot of the problems. It was around Portland, Oregon, but the utility in Washington State was afraid to call that utility, thinking they might be violating the law if they did. So that's what I'll be pushing on, and I think the rest of the commission as well. Going into next winter, since we've had 2 such warm winters in a row, it's not going to last very much longer.
Commissioner LaFleur, anything to add, ma'am?
I agree that communication was one of the big lessons, and that's what we need to work on, and have already given some guidance as to what's allowed so that people don't think our regulations are stopping that. I think also situational awareness between different operators, both adjoining electric operators and different gas operators, was a big lesson of that incident.
Another lesson in Texas is we had to get our power from Mexico. When that crisis happened, we had to go across the border to get that power from another country. And that scares me a little bit, that we're dependent upon a foreign nation as opposed to taking care of our own needs. And also, it's not just cold air, cold weather. We had the summer of 2011, every city in Texas, every single one of them was over 100 degrees for the whole month of August. If that happens again with the war on coal, we tried to get the Las Brisas power plant up online, the White Stallion power plant, coal power plant, pet coke plant, shut down. They pulled back because of EPA regulations and these lawsuits. We've got to get the legal system out of here and let the people do what the people need to do. Thank you. Yield back the balance of my time.